And a good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hit the Ropes Radio, the world famous Hit the Ropes Radio show. This is episode number 331 of Hit the Ropes Radio. We thank you guys so much for joining us on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday night. Stokester here, joined by young Courtney. Courtney, what's up, man? How you doing? Oh my God. Oh, you doing too much. You scared the heck out of me right there. Once again,
What up, everybody?
For the third week in a row wearing a silly hat. But nonetheless, Courtney is in the building. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's episode 331 of the Hit the Ropes radio show, and we have quite a bit to talk about. There was, I don't know if you guys heard this event that WWE hyped up immediately after WrestleMania called the Superstar Shakeup. That went down this week. We're going to talk about that. And we're also going to talk about entrance music. We're going to talk about our top entrance music themes of all time in the world of wrestling. So those in the chat room, those following us on Twitter, tweet your suggestions, put in the comment section of the chat room some of your favorite entrance themes, and we'll get to that a little bit later in the show. But Courtney, let's talk a little bit about the Superstar Shakeup. Just to recap for everyone how everything went down. We start with Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw started off with The Miz and Maurice entering the ring as John Cena and Nikki Bella. And, of course, declaring that they are...
I'll never get tired of that. I'll never get tired of that.
Yes, very, very, very nice. Very nice. It actually is actually pretty funny. It's actually good stuff. So they come to the ring as John Cena and Nikki Bella, only to be interrupted by Dean Ambrose, who also defected, but came over from Smackdown. So Raw gets The Miz and Maurice, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, Apollo Crews, Kalisto, Heath Slater and Rhino, and Kurt Hawkins. That was Raw's haul from Smackdown. Courtney, give me a name or two of superstars that you think that made the move from Smackdown to Raw that will benefit from the move, and give me a name or two that you think will be hurt by the move from SmackDown Live to Raw.
Okay, so the first guy I thought of when it comes to who may actually be hurt by the move, and this is going to be strange, but I think it's Kurt Hawkins. Now, I think, yeah, I know, right? But I think now on SmackDown, if they would have used him right, he would have had a nice little chance to shine a little bit in the mid card. And maybe because Raw is a 3-hour show, he'll actually get more opportunity. So I might just rethink this. Maybe Kurt Hawkins transforms immediately into a winner, because now that I think about it, he has the 3-hour show, so it's more time and more opportunities for him to get on the show. So you know what? I'm going to change that. Kurt Hawkins is my first big winner of the Superstar Shakeup for Raw. Second, Bray Wyatt. I think Bray Wyatt has been terribly misused since he's been back from his injury. He had a month-long run with the World Heavyweight Championship. The SmackDown Heavyweight. Don't they still call it the World Heavyweight Championship, right?
It's the WWE Championship. Yes.
Right. So he had the little, a brief run with that, and I just think that he has been criminally misused since he has kind of got pushed up into the main event. So I think he's going to benefit, giving you some fresh people to feud with. You got Strowman over on Raw, you got Roman over on Raw, you got Seth Rollins. He confronted Finn Balor, so he has more opportunity for different things, different opportunities.
Yeah, I disagree with you a little bit on Bray Wyatt being misused. I thought he was used pretty decently on SmackDown. Obviously, he ultimately won the WWE Championship and was in one of the marquee matches at WrestleMania. So I don't know that I totally agree with you saying that Bray's been misused. I think he's actually gotten more of a push, since coming back from that injury. I also disagree with you on Kurt Hawkins, man. Kurt Hawkins is a perennial mid to lower mid Carter. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. I just don't see any type of progression, or type of elevation taking place in his career. I could be totally wrong, man. I thought the same about Zack Ryder, and he had a run for a minute. So, I don't know that Kurt Hawkins is going to benefit. I actually think he probably would have been better off staying on SmackDown, where it is the land of opportunity, and he would have maybe gotten more shine, because now you've mentioned it. So many big names are on Monday Night Raw that Kurt Hawkins is going to fall through the cracks, I think. Same thing with guys like Kalisto, guys like Apollo Crews. I don't think that it particularly benefited them to leave SmackDown to come to Raw. I think
I think it benefits Kalisto solely because
205 Live. Yeah, okay, yes, I agree. He's probably going to go to 205 Live. He's going to be in the Cruiserweight division, so yes. But on the flip side of that, you could have put Sin Cara down there. I don't know that they ever did that. So Sin Cara, and we'll get to that in a minute, moved over from Raw to SmackDown Live. So, but yeah, I get that. Kalisto actually may be a little more popular than Sin Cara these days. So I could see him making an impact in the Cruiserweight division. I also think that moving from SmackDown to Raw did not benefit The Miz and Maurice.
I agree.
The Miz specifically. I know either Shane and I talked about this offline, or he may have even mentioned it here on the show. The Miz was primed for a world championship run on SmackDown, and now he has to get through, a log jam of, main event to upper tier guys to get into that mix. So yeah. Miz is another guy that I thought may have been better served on SmackDown Live. The only person really, I'm looking at this list, the only person that I actually think going to Raw helps or benefits or is good for them are the ladies, Alexa Bliss and Mickie James, to get some fresh faces in the women's division on Raw, get rid of that rotation of, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Bayley. Now you got a couple of fresh faces to mix in there with, Sasha and Bayley and Nia Jax in the mix there too. I think that's a good thing. And I'm glad actually that they did not move Sasha Banks to SmackDown Live, because now you open up that potential for Sasha turning heel, and then you can run a program with Bayley. So my opinion on some of the winners and losers there, your opinion on some of the winners and losers. I don't know if anybody. Okay, so HD, my man HD in the chat room says, definitely help Kalisto because he could be in the Cruiserweight division. He says it hurts Bray Wyatt because he can't see him being near the main event scene on Raw. And I tend to agree with that. So let's shift gears over to SmackDown, Courtney. SmackDown Live, actually, it seemed like initially, like when I was watching Raw and then watching SmackDown, I'm like, man, Raw got more people. But actually, it was 9 for 9, 10 for 10 if you count the swap of the announcers, which let me get your thoughts on that since I brought it up. I actually didn't understand it. I particularly don't care about it, really. I mean, I think Byron Saxton is probably at this point better than David Otunga. So to switch to put David Otunga on like the flagship and move Byron Saxton, that was kind of a weird move.
So I think it works in this way. So with Saxton, you got a guy who can hold his own with JBL and the other guy, especially if Ronaldo doesn't come back. And by moving Otunga to Raw, and I like Otunga, you got the opportunity that he can actually kind of fade into the background and play, the third banana like he was doing on SmackDown. But I think he'll actually do it better on Raw because Cole and Corey Graves are so good at what they do.
Okay. All right. Well, fair enough. I guess we shall see. I know I was watching some old Sam Roberts stuff, and I guess it was around SummerSlam. I don't know, but Paul Heyman called Corey Graves the best announcer in WWE today. So very high praise for Corey Graves. I think he does a good job. It'll be interesting to see. I think
Corey Graves does a really, really good job. And you got to put him up there as on the list of guys who were able to transition from in-ring to the broadcast booth and have become really, really good because he's really, really good, man.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. He does a good job. It'll be interesting to see how he plays off of David Otunga because him and Byron Saxton seemingly had really good chemistry. So we'll see how all that goes. But shifting gears over to SmackDown Live to recap who they got here in the Superstar Shakeup. They received Tamina, Jinder Mahal, Sin Cara, the Shining Stars, Sami Zayn, Lana, Rusev, The New Day, and Charlotte Flair. Oh, and Kevin Owens. And though there's a caveat with Kevin Owens, if he loses the United States title to Chris Jericho, then it will be Chris Jericho who comes to SmackDown. And Kevin Owens, I assume, would go back to Raw. I don't know how that works, but I would anticipate Kevin Owens is probably going to retain. I don't think he's going to lose. I think Kevin Owens is going to be a part of SmackDown Live. So same question to you.
I don't think they're gonna have both the IC and United States title both on Raw.
True, exactly, and that's what I was thinking too. When I saw Dean come over, I said, "Uh-oh, either Kevin Owens is going to drop the belt tonight, and that person's going to go over to SmackDown, or Kevin Owens is going to go over to SmackDown." And I actually need to correct myself. It looks like in the Superstar Shakeup, SmackDown actually got one more superstar than Monday Night Raw did. So, in any event, give me the names of people that you think the move benefited from Raw to SmackDown, and give me some that you think maybe are hurt by the move.
Well, I got two, because actually I got three who it helps. Number one, Kevin Owens, because he immediately, especially if he stays on SmackDown, he immediately goes to the main event. Even though I don't like Randy Orton, I think a potential feud between Randy Orton and Kevin Owens will be money because both of them, when especially when Randy's on, they can both wrestle, their arses off. Also, the New Day, man, the New Day ran out of stuff to do on Raw, and they weren't getting stale to me, but they ran out of stuff to do, and so I think it was only right for them to move just to give them some fresh tag teams to feud with, and just some more things to do. Kofi's going to be out for a while. They say like 4 to 6 weeks. So it gives Big E and X, Woods a lot of time to shine, a lot of opportunity to shine. So I think it helps Kevin Owens. I think it helps the New Day. And man, who was the third person I had?
Charlotte, maybe?
Charlotte. Because Charlotte immediately becomes the best woman on the roster.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I can agree with that. I was just trying to run through the names. I mean, I wish WWE, I don't know what it is with them and not giving Natalya a push, but yeah. I wish they would, because obviously Natalya can go.
She's probably the best women's wrestler as far as pure wrestling goes on the roster.
I don't know. You maybe could have said that 3 or 4 years ago, but I don't know, man. She got some comp. Charlotte can wrestle. Bayley can wrestle. Sasha can go. So Becky Lynch can go. Alexa Bliss is okay. Probably not better than Natalya, but she's good. So it's the quality of women's wrestling, like the quality of their technical ability, has definitely turned up a notch with this whole
and I gotta be honest,
revolution.
I kind of become a little jaded with the women on how they were booking the women on Raw recently, but I really enjoyed the segment this week with Nia Jax just coming out and destroying everybody. Except for Alexa Bliss. I really enjoyed that segment.
Okay. Well, as far as I actually don't. Here's an interesting thing. I actually think the move to SmackDown Live doesn't do a disservice to any of the people that moved. For the simple fact that, you know, as Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan like to call it, the land of opportunity. I think it does give these superstars who are kind of caught in the in the fray on Raw a chance and an opportunity, with the exception of Kevin Owens, Charlotte, and New Day. They were pretty high profile superstars on Raw. But it kind of gives these guys an opportunity to shine.
Oh, Rusev was the third person I had. Rusev out of
that would be the fourth person you had, because you already named Kevin Owens, New Day, and Charlotte Flair.
Okay, well, yeah, the fourth. Yeah, you know what? I gotta agree with you. I don't think the move to SmackDown hurts anybody, because all those guys, the only one of those guys who probably didn't need like a refresh really was Jinder Mahal, because he's just really getting back on TV, but he's been on TV, you know. I expect a run from Jinder Mahal.
Yeah,
you heard it here first. Yeah, Hit the Ropes Radio, son.
I don't know about
Matt
that, but he's got
Jinder Mahal will be a champion in 2017.
God, I would almost bet money on that one. I don't think.
What is this? April 12th? I don't think
April 12th, 2017. I do not think that's going to happen. I'm sorry, Jinder Mahal is not winning a belt in 2017. No way. I would bet money on that. So we could talk about that offline. But HD in the chat room says Rusev was a winner going to SmackDown. Hopefully they let him be the monster heel he should be. He said he personally doesn't think it hurt anybody that moved from Raw to SmackDown, so he agrees with our sentiments there. I agree. I don't think it hurt anybody. I definitely think, thank God, I think Sami Zayn needed to move to SmackDown. I think we even talked about that last week, that he needed a move, and they made it happen. So I think that's good for him.
Remember how you and I talked the other day about how, you know, separating Sammy and KO, and then when they did the draft, oh look, they're both on Raw, and you know, now they're both on SmackDown. I just think it's a little weird, because, you know, they're always going to be linked, but I do think, you know, it can keep them separate, especially if Kevin Owens gets thrust into the main event picture.
Yeah, I think what I foresee happening there is, it looks like AJ. Well, it doesn't look like it is. AJ Styles is the new #1 contender for the United States Championship. I think before Kevin Owens gets thrust into that main event scene, he'll have a match with or a program with AJ Styles, which will be great. And then he probably will transition to be, you know, a challenger for Randy Orton. So that's a good point. It'll be interesting to see what happens, how Sami Zayn works through everything, and how he does on SmackDown Live. I think the change of scenery should do him some good, but WWE doesn't treat him the best in terms of how they book him. So it'll be interesting to see. Jinder, I think a lot of people said Jinder was a big winner in the chat room. Looking at Daniel Price and HD, Jinder to SmackDown was a last-minute audible by Vince as punishment for going too stiff on Finn Balor and giving him a concussion. Yeah. That's an interesting point of view. I don't know if that was I don't know. What do you think? The superstars want to be on Raw more than they want to be on SmackDown because Raw is the flagship, Raw is 3 hours? You know, I don't know. Or do they look at SmackDown as this place where I can maybe thrive and shine and get some opportunities that I may not get on Raw? So I don't know. I don't know what superstars prefer. Let's see. HD also says that Jinder Mahal was a big winner going from Raw to SmackDown. Big winner in Jinder going from Raw to SmackDown was Finn Balor. Jinder won't be giving Balor concussions anymore. Okay, I had to read it over. Sorry about that. I got it now. I'm a little slow there on the read. My bad. Styles was a last-minute decision, according to Daniel. he was going to Raw, but they went with Wyatt instead. That's an interesting point of view. Yeah, and so yeah, and that triple threat was pretty decent last night. It was Sami Zayn, AJ Styles, and Baron Corbin. And of course, Sami Zayn and AJ Styles did their thing in the ring. Baron Corbin, I'm indifferent with Baron Corbin. I don't dislike him. I don't particularly like him either. I find his gimmick to be kind of just meh. It doesn't really do a whole lot for me. But, I can understand why WWE likes him. So Superstar Shakeup was, was decent. Kind of people that we expected for the most part to make moves, and it kind of shook out. I think we predicted a lot of the people to move that actually did move. I was a little more shocked with some of the acquisitions that Raw received, more so than some of the acquisitions that SmackDown received. Like I didn't expect Bray Wyatt. I don't think I really expected Dean Ambrose. I kind of thought Miz and Maurice might go. Alexa Bliss was somebody I thought might go. And then the other ones I didn't really consider. Mickey James, Apollo Crews, Kalisto. Really didn't consider
I
those
forgot
names.
Apollo Crews was on the roster. And then I'm like, oh, he moved to SmackDown. They could put him with the New Day, get the four brothers who always smiley and stuff like that. Then the New Day goes to SmackDown. So what is Apollo Crews going to do?
Yeah, and I actually, not to toot my own horn, but I actually predicted Charlotte, New Day, Rusev, and Sami Zayn last week all making the transition to SmackDown, and I was right. So, good point in the chat room by Daniel. Kevin Owens probably could have stayed on Raw to keep him and Sami Zayn separate. You talked about that, Courtney. Makes when they do fight again more special. So interesting stuff. We'll see. I can't wait to see how new storylines unfold, how the titles, who's going to be champion, who's going to hold titles. And really, Raw is in a situation where their main title is going to be the Intercontinental Championship because they have a part-time world champion. So
I was reading that Brock isn't scheduled to be on TV anymore this month. He's not going to be at the pay-per-view, and as of now, he's not scheduled for any shows next month. That's just ridiculous.
I agree. I think, if he's going to carry the strap, he's got to appear a little bit more than that for me. Yeah. I agree with you. If he's not going to wrestle in WWE for a month, that's crazy.
Especially if he's the champ.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if he's the champ. But let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk a little bit. I want to get your thoughts on this Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns segment from Raw that took place this past Monday night. Crazy beatdown Roman Reigns took. I have some thoughts on it, but I want to get your thoughts on it first. What did you think?
Okay, before I go there, Charlotte, the way she almost Brock Lesnar'd herself on that moonsault on Monday Night Raw. And look, man, I am a big fan of Charlotte and her impeccable moonsault. But man, that was, when I saw it on Monday, she got Nia Jax in the head, kind of kicked her. So, it looked like she took most of the damage, but then, she basically fell flat on her face. And I just thought that was amazing how, she didn't do more to, destroy herself. But anyway, look, man, people hate Roman Reigns. I actually posted a Facebook status earlier today that said, Drake was the Roman Reigns of rap because you and I were talking about it. And, people just seem to hate Drake for no reason, probably because he's light skinned, could sing a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And he don't care about what anybody thinks. Roman Reigns is a good wrestler. I'm going to start there. Roman Reigns is a good wrestler. People are saying, now, yes, he's robotic when he talks. Yes, he delivers, some bad promos, but the fact that all of the promos are scripted now, it's not really his fault. I mean, yeah, he could have a little more charisma, but I think his charisma lies more in what he did to open Raw last week versus, him delivering some Chris Jericho or John Cena like promo. That being said, I thought it was spectacular. I've been a big fan of the Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman feud all year. I was actually hoping that Strowman would somehow be interjected into the match with The Undertaker at WrestleMania. And he looked dominant. And I'm pretty sure that they did that to kind of like get some sympathy for Roman Reigns so he wouldn't be booed so much. It probably backfired because, when Strowman tossed that stretcher off the stage, you could hear people chanting, "You deserve it," But I love the sheer brutality of it. I mean, when he first tossed Roman Reigns over those electrical boxes, I mean, those things were standing like 5 feet in the air, and he just tossed them over it like it was nothing. I'm surprised Roman landed on that table, but he tossed Roman like he was a pillow, man. And it was just, it's just some things that you don't see anymore outside of, Brock Lesnar suplexing somebody to death. But, so I was all for it. Even though I am a big Roman Reigns fan, I'm also a big Braun Strowman fan. And I just think that does nothing but help their feud,
Yeah, okay. So listen.
Hey, yo, and I gotta shout out Hot Dog in the chat room because his thoughts are mine. Reigns better not show up this Monday showing no effects to that beating. If they go to Super Cena route with Reigns, then I mean I think that'll just be like the point of no return. He won't be able to come back.
Okay. So here are my thoughts on the whole Roman Reigns Braun Strowman thing. I agree with you too. And Daniel was giving his thoughts in the chat room of, he doesn't dislike Roman Reigns. The Joe, I don't want to mispronounce his Samoan last name. The person, but he feels the force-fed Roman Reigns, the invincible Samoan, that dude drives him crazy. So
I agree, but like I said, I really like Roman Reigns and just like his potential to just be,
But I mean, you understand why WWE is like backing this guy because he, based on what they like and what they look for, he kind of has that it factor, in my opinion. But I digress. Listen,
because one more thing before we get off, look at what they've done with the Usos. Why not do that exact same thing with Roman Reigns as far as just making him, just like some, badass, like, and don't care about nobody, really care about the fans. I mean, dog, does Roman Reigns really sell that many T-shirts?
Do you see what I'm doing right here? I am showing you a money signal. I'm hitting you with the Johnny Manziel. They won't do it because, does he sell that much merchandise? Yes, he does. He is, since John Cena has gone part-time, he is WWE's, highest singles merchandise seller. I'm sure New Day probably is giving him a run for his money, but I think he's tops. But listen, the Roman Reigns Braun Strowman thing was great until they got to the ambulance flip. Until they got to that then it just totally turned me off, I should say, because then it was just fake, because we know that no human being can tip over an ambulance. I'm sorry.
Bro, Mark Henry was out here pulling 18-wheelers.
Listen,
come on.
Listen, in fact, there was they interviewed a strong man who said it is impossible to lift. An ambulance weighs between 10,000 and 14,000 pounds. It is no way in human possibility for any human being to flip an ambulance. And we know he wasn't doing it. We know he wasn't doing it because it's impossible to do. But then you can kind of hear the hydraulic thing helping them flip, helping the thing flip over. So that part, it was all good until they got to that part, to the ambulance flip, and it was like, okay, now it's not believable. That's how it got to me. It got ridiculous.
And yo, shout out to Hot Dog again. Yo, I enjoyed this part of the segment too. Every time we thought it was over, Strowman came back, beat up Reigns some more. It was kind of like, Cena beat up John Cena, and it was a fun segment, especially if you were a fan of the Attitude Era. It was just a really, really fun segment.
No, I like I said, I liked when, like Hot Dog said, he came running back in. I knew when he was in the ambulance, I was like, okay, he's coming back again. He's like, I'm not through with you yet. And he comes running in and throws one. Then I actually thought they were gonna go back to the old school Vince and Stone Cold thing in the hospital where Stone Cold was disguised as the doctor and beat the crap out of Vince. I thought they were actually going to go to that. And maybe they do next week. Maybe they show like a scene where Roman's in the hospital and Braun Strowman attacks him or something. But the whole ambulance flipping thing, that turned me off. Everything else was cool. But get this. There is a legitimate petition going around right now on change.org. I don't know if it's a joke. I don't know if this is for real. I don't know. But there's an actual petition on change.org that has 1,300 signatures calling for Braun Strowman to be fired for the way he attacked Roman Reigns on Monday night. And listen, this is what the petition says. It says, to the WWE Universe are not pleased with Strowman's actions tonight on Raw following his brutal attack on Roman Reigns. Me and a lot of the WWE Universe want Strowman fired effective immediately. He crossed the line tonight following the attack on Roman, and now Roman is in the hospital with injuries. If this is what you call entertainment, you failed miserably. I don't care if he goes to SmackDown Live. We want him off of Raw or fired from the WWE. I've been a fan of Raw for years, and out of everything that I've seen happen, this was by far the absolute worst.
Okay, and Strowman actually tweeted a response to that.
Yes, he did.
He tweeted, I do what I want when I want, and your stupid petition won't change that. Hashtag no one is safe. Hashtag everyone will fall. And here's the best one. Hashtag your tears hydrate me.
Yes,
that's awesome.
Your tears hydrate me is actually very clever. That's actually very good. I'm gonna have to use that like with my kids or something where they're like crying for something and I'm not falling for it. I'm gonna be like, your tears hydrate me. Like, stop it. But since Hot Dog brought it up in the chat room, and before we shift gears to the whole entrance theme discussion, let's talk about JBL, man. He's been in the news quite a bit. A lot of people have been affected by this. A lot of different hands have been, or a lot of people have been touched by the alleged actions of JBL, from Mauro Ranallo to, I even heard Justin Roberts. He talks a lot about the bullying that JBL administered in his book. And then you have Jonathan Coachman on ESPN now is saying he's no longer covering WWE because I think it was Wade Keller who held his feet to the fire for not covering this whole bullying thing involving JBL and Mauro Ranallo. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat room if it wasn't Wade Keller, but I know it was one of those. It was either Wade Keller or my man from Wrestling Observer. I can't think of. His name is failing me right now. But in any event, so there's these allegations that JBL is like this big bully, and he's been doing it for years.
I was about to say, man, the allegations, have been out there for years. One of the most famous cases is The Miz when he first came in. Apparently he was bullied beyond belief, and it did nothing, but help him get stronger. But he talked about how bad it was, and JBL was the main culprit, and apparently, Vince encourages it.
Yeah, thank you in the chat room for correcting me, guys. It was Dave Meltzer who who actually put Coach's feet to the fire with that. Look, man, I don't know. I know, and Hot Dog alluded to this too in the chat room that there were people actually chanting for JBL to be fired on SmackDown last night. I don't know if you caught wind of that, But that's just it. I don't know that JBL is going to be fired for this, because that whole culture of ribbing and you know, pranking people and giving people a hard time and kind of, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Hazing. And, you know, hazing in a certain way. You know, I just get that feeling that because that's kind of been an ongoing culture in WWE, I don't think that JBL is gonna be harmed in any way.
But you know what else has been an ongoing thing in WWE for the last couple of years?
What, be a star program. Yeah, yep. Okay. Yep. I thought about that too. Yeah. So they got the Be a Star campaign, which is the anti-bullying campaign for those that don't know. And I know most of you guys do know. But yeah, it's just because of that culture of ribbing. I know they shared a story. I think it was Justin Roberts who shared a story about somebody taking his passport.
Yeah.
And JBL, and then I think
because Johnny apparently
Morrison,
he was trying to get Morrison and Nitro to take his the same Morrison and Mercury to take his passport.
Right. And so John Morrison came out recently and actually confirmed Justin Roberts' story and said, you know, we ultimately decided that we wouldn't want anybody to do that to us, so we weren't going to do it. But he said very clearly we were asked to do it by JBL. So clearly JBL is a prankster. You know, a lot of times, man, these old school wrestling guys, you know, do these things that they got away with in years past. And now, you know, we're living in this age where bullying is frowned upon and depression is a real thing, and, you know, and a serious thing. So, you know, we can't really, you know, discount that. I think people have to be cognizant of that. And you know, and make better decisions. Do I think JBL is going to lose his job over this? I doubt it. Could he potentially, because of the backlash and the outcry from people, could he, you know, maybe have to fall back a little bit and step away or do something else behind the scenes? Maybe. You know, I could see, you know, where a sponsor, similar to kind of what happened to Daniel Bryan back in the day with the Nexus stuff, where a sponsor is like, hey, you got this guy who's featured prominently on your broadcast who's a bully. Like, you know, that's not a representation of who we are. If it starts to, you know, to lighten the pockets of Vincent Kennedy McMahon, you know, you best believe JBL's face will be off TV if that's what it takes. But I don't think, you know, that's something that's going to happen.
Okay, I totally agree.
All right. Well, we want to thank you guys for tuning in to episode number 331 of the Hit the Ropes radio show. We almost have a full year, like 30 more shows. We have like a full year of shows, a show for every day of the week, pretty much. But this is episode 331. Thanks everybody in the chat room. Thanks everybody who's listening or who will listen on the podcast later throughout the days and weeks. You can check us out. Of course, we're online. We're everywhere, really. We're on Facebook at Hit the Ropes. We're on Twitter at Hit the Ropes, Instagram at Hit the Ropes. Our website is hittheropesradio.com. You also can download our podcast anywhere that you can download podcasts. It'll be available tomorrow on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Libsyn, Google Play. We're everywhere. So definitely download the podcast, rate us a 5 on iTunes. It helps a lot. And we appreciate the support that you guys have been giving us, you know, over the years, and really since we made our triumphant return here in the fall of last year. So let's shift gears, Courtney, to this discussion. You people don't know, Courtney has a podcast. And I'm going to give his podcast a cheap plug here, and he should be happy about this. But he has a fatherhood podcast that he does called the Black Dad Chronicles. And he had an episode where he talked about his top 5 favorite hip-hop artists of all time.
Not the best, my favorite.
His favorite. And that's not a discussion we're going to get into here on Hit the Ropes Radio. We're a wrestling show. But he did bring up because that topic sparked a discussion as we were preparing for the show this week. So we decided to talk about some of our favorite wrestling theme music, entrance themes. So I said, let's compile a list of, 3 to 5 from, let's go old school, from people who don't wrestle anymore, who are WWE alumni or even WCW or wherever, TNA, doesn't matter. And then let's look at some of the current stars and who has some of the best entrance music out there. So Courtney, I'm going to let you take the floor. I'm going to let you start it off.
All right. So how many are we doing? Because I have 10. But I didn't want to add R-Truth, and so the way I thought of these was one, sing along factor, how good the song is first, and then sing along factor, but I did not include Fandango. So I tried to find some new school guys, and I actually had a real issue if I wanted to put The Rock in old school or new school. So
I would consider him old school.
He's
part-time, so we'll go there. But go ahead. Let's hear.
All right, so I'm gonna do my old school first, right?
Okay.
So my number one old school song, their favorite wrestling theme song, is Real American.
Hulk Hogan.
Hey man,
Hulk
Hogan, man. When
now, are we basing this on the reaction of the crowd when the music hits, or is that one of the factors? That's one of your factors? Okay.
Yes. Crowd reaction, how good the song is, and then sing along factor. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so that's the reason why I included one of them later. But then I have "Sexy Boy" by HBK's theme song, the one with him singing, not the one with Sherry singing.
Okay.
Then I have Bret Hart's theme song, which I don't know the name of it, but I mean, hey, Bret Hart's theme song was my favorite theme song growing up. Because I was a Bret Hart mark. Bret Hart was my favorite wrestler.
Okay.
Then I got The Rock's theme song. Of course, I wanted to be The Rock growing up. You know what I'm saying? So my last one, number 5, it was close. I was gonna put Flair's theme, but then I listened to Flair's theme, and then I listened to Macho Man's theme. I went off of how both of those theme songs make me feel, and I had to put Macho Man's theme song at number 5 just because when I hear it, it just I feel like I can just go out any day and just be great. You know what I'm saying? That's what Macho Man's theme song does to me. So those are my top 5 old school theme songs. Once again, to recap, Hulk Hogan's Real American theme song, Sexy Boy Shawn Michaels theme song, Bret Hart's theme song, The Rock's theme song, and R.I.P. Macho Man Randy Savage's theme song.
Okay. That's a good list. I'm going to give you my old school, but Daniel, listen, man. Daniel Price in the chat room, man, he's got some interest themes here, man.
He does.
He's got New Jack, Natural Boy Killers by Dre and Cube. That's the joint right there.
Yes.
Rick Rude. Did Rick Rude come out to Smooth Operator by Sade? Did he really?
Man,
I didn't know that.
If he did, Rick Rude is the GOAT.
Wait a minute. Daniel knows his stuff, so I'm not doubting the brother, but I know he didn't come out to Smooth Operator by Sade when he was in WWE.
Right.
I don't think he did. He had Sting, Fight for Your Right to Party. Did he come out to Beastie Boys? Brian Pillman, Rocket by Def Leppard, Skyscrapers came out to China White by the Scorpions, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert came out to Hot Stuff by Donna Summer, and the Road Warriors came out to Iron Man by Black Sabbath. Road Warriors did have a pretty cool theme song. Here's some of my favorite from the old school or WWE alumni. Hot Dog just named one of mine. Demolition's theme song was dope, man. When they came to the ring, man, it was just like Demolition had a dope theme song. Definitely got to put Stone Cold up there. That glass shattering,
Dang,
crowd
man.
goes
Yeah,
wild.
you do.
The music hits. It's crazy. DX's entrance is one of my favorites as well.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. And I'm trying to think my number one I'm trying to save, but I'm trying to think of my number 4. Hot Dog has some great ones. Roddy Piper's music, Hogan, Austin, Demolition, Undertaker, Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect's theme was dope.
Hey,
Randy Savage.
We got Mr. Fuji, Daniel Price did. Yo, Mr. Fuji's theme song was so underrated.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to remember, what was Fuji? Fuji had his own theme music?
Yeah, man. It was like oh man, I can't. I'm not gonna make myself sound like an idiot.
Oh, and you know what I gotta put up there? I gotta put, even though I don't know, is this really cheating? But I guess it's not. I gotta go with CM Punk, man, with the code Living Color, code of personality. Well, my number one, man, my favorite wrestling theme song, entrance theme is NWO's theme music, man. That is just the whole creation of the NWO, how it came about, how organic it was. Then you had that music and the black and white. I just thought the whole presentation overall was dope. So I go NWO, CM Punk, Cult of Personality. I said Hogan. No, I didn't say Hogan. I said Austin, Demolition, and DX. Those are my 5 of my favorites. I could probably go 10. Honorable mention to Triple H. I like Triple H's theme music. That's a good one. Shawn Michaels, like you said, creative. I'm trying to think. Macho Man. I love the pageantry that comes with like Macho Man and Flair and even Mr. Perfect's music. All of those were great. Those are some good entrance music things. It's so funny. So my coworkers laugh at me sometime and give me a hard time because I like wrestling, right? So I was in the lunchroom one day, and my boss, ironically, just started playing, like, she gave me like a wrestling entrance theme quiz, and it probably was like 15 entrance themes, and I think I got one wrong. I was just like firing them off, and I mean, I had the whole break room like laughing hysterically because they could not believe that like I knew all of these wrestling themes. So it just comes from years and years of watching wrestling. So let's go. We got a couple minutes left in the show. Let's talk about the new school. Let's talk about the current stars in wrestling and some of the themes and what you think of those. Who are some of your favorites?
All right, so first I'm gonna go with my honorable mention, and this was kind of like late that I added this, but I really like the Bullet Club's theme song. I really do.
I don't know that I've heard it.
You should look it up. It's pretty dope.
Okay.
So I actually have CM Punk in my new school list because I love Cult of Personality. I even went, bought the song. I remember the first night he debuted it. Then got Edge's theme song. Edge's theme song used to get me hyped, son. Like I could be getting ready to hoop. And then I throw on Edge's theme song.
Edge is not, but Edge is retired. He should have been on your alumni old school list. Okay,
but I didn't do but he's newer. He's not as old as the guys I put on the list. You know what I'm saying? Hands down, my favorite right now is The Rising Sun, which is Shinsuke Nakamura's theme song.
Yeah, man,
that is probably the best theme song in all of wrestling right now. Hands down, I'm gonna say it. Not probably. It is the best theme song in all of wrestling right now. And then and this song fits my criteria. R-Truth, what's up? I mean, the song is, the beat is dope.
What?
The crowd goes nuts when the song comes on. The
crowd still go.
Yes, man. R-Truth, man. People over there, what's up?
Oh, please. I know how it goes. You don't have to sing it. I know how it goes.
Right.
Why? That is not a good wrestling thing. I mean, yes, is it crowd interactive? Does the crowd what's up back at him and all of that? Sure, but it's not good.
It's good,
it's
man.
Bad rap.
Yeah, okay. All right. And then after all this time, 16-time champ. John Cena's theme song still knocks. And yes, it is still my alarm clock. I wake up to John Cena's theme every morning.
Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised by this?
Man, hey, John Cena, dog. John Cena's theme song is legendary, bro. It's legendary.
Okay.
As soon as you hear that, man, hey,
yeah,
legendary.
Yeah.
So those are my 5 with the honorable mention.
It's a lot. It's a lot of good ones out there. I don't know that I can do 5, man, but Nakamura's is great. Nakamura's is great. Bobby Roode may be my favorite one right now, though. Just with the whole glorious thing, like that's dope to me. I just like the whole presentation. As I said, with somebody else's theme on my old school list, NWO. But so I like Nakamura. I like Bobby Roode. I like Kevin Owens' theme.
Hold on.
Come on, man. Seriously. I thought we were going to get through an episode without you doing this. You gotta be kidding me. Come on, bruh. But I like KO's theme. Like KO's theme a lot. Let's see. So that's 3. It's a lot of them out there, man, that are good.
It is.
I even like Sasha Banks' theme a little bit. It's kind of, it's got a little.
I like the beat. I really like the beat.
Yeah. Now, as far as presentation goes, now maybe not the music itself, but I don't know if anybody could. Nakamura's up there, but I don't know. Naomi's is her presentation is dope.
Yeah,
like with the whole Feel the Glow thing. Finn Balor has really dope theme music.
Man.
Finn Balor's probably he's probably top 2 for me right now. Like it's probably Bobby Roode, then Finn Balor, then probably Nakamura at 3, and then I would probably say KO. I like KO's music. It's a lot out there. I like Samoa Joe's theme too. I
don't like Samoa Joe's theme as much as I did his TNA theme. I mean, and it's kind of like a remix version of his TNA theme. I just don't think it's as good.
Yeah, his TNA theme was pretty dope.
Because you got to think it was basically Simon Says by Pharaoh Monch.
It was similar. Yeah, it was similar. Yeah, it was similar. Now, if we were talking about like actual wrestling entrances, like presentation and all of that, I would probably throw Bray Wyatt on the list. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I particularly like his song per se, but Randy Orton, the voices joint is still goes.
Yeah,
that's a good one still. I like the Usos new music. I like the little new bad guy music. Yeah. That's cool. And I'm a little fan of gospel music too. So the New Day come out, you can clap and dance with that. I'm not saying that's one of my favorites, but I guess the point that I'm making is there's a lot of pretty good entrance themes. I know Hot Dog threw some on like Becky Lynch, Sami Zayn, Aleister Black. We talked about Bobby Roode and Nakamura and Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt. So a lot of wrestlers got good music out there, man. So definitely. Johnny Mason in the chat room says Road Warriors has the greatest intro of all time. That what a rush, man. I mean, you definitely knew that the Road Warriors were coming. So that's a good one too. That was a good one. Yeah, Road Warriors were really good. So yeah, man. So that's it. That's our favorite wrestling entrance theme songs. I would love to do wrestling entrances on one of these episodes, which we'll do definitely. I'm sure we'll do it in the future.
Oh yeah.
And talk about that, because that's a whole different thing. You're talking about the whole thing, the presentation, how the crowd reacts, the whole 9. So we'll probably save that for a future show. But we want to thank you guys so much for listening to episode number 331 of the Hit the Ropes radio show. If you happen to miss the earlier parts of the show, you can definitely go back and check out our live video here on YouTube, or you can listen to our podcast. You can download it on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. You can also go to Libsyn, where you can find the Hit the Ropes Radio podcast. Be sure to stay in tune with everything we have going on social media. Follow us on Twitter at Hit the Ropes. Check us out on Facebook, also at Hit the Ropes, Instagram at Hit the Ropes, and our website, which is hittheropesradio.com. Courtney, do you have any last words before we sign off for the evening?
Go to iTunes, rate us, like us, leave us some comments, share. Also, go to iTunes, check out the Black Dad Chronicles. It's my solo podcast that I do. It's about fatherhood and all that stuff, yada yada. It's good, it's dope. Listen to it, share it, tell your friends about it. Man, thanks for everybody who tuned in. Thanks for all the chat room participation. We really, really enjoy that, and it helps us further the conversation that we're having on the show. And you guys, man, y'all threw out some awesome things, and we just appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. So that's all I got, man. Peace and love.
Absolutely. But listen, before we sign off though, Hot Dog said, what's some of the worst entrance theme songs? What's some of the bad ones? R-Truth is bad, but you like that one for whatever reason. Let's see. What's some other wrestling entrance themes that are not very good?
Zack Ryder's theme song, even though I use
Mojo Rawley's theme song stinks.
Terrible, dog. Dolph Ziggler's is bad to me too, man.
You don't like Dolph Ziggler?
No,
I don't think Coco. Did Coco Beware have theme music? I think he just. Oh, he did. He had the bird song. Yeah, he had the bird song. Yeah, that was bad.
Sid Vicious had bad music.
Did he?
Yes.
Honky Tonk Man. Daniel says Honky Tonk Man. Honky Tonk Man was kind of funny because he was singing his own theme song. It was horrible, but it went so well with his gimmick. Like it went so well with the whole Elvis. The fake Elvis thing that he had going on. So that was good. I'm trying to think of some other. I like Dolph Ziggler's theme music. You think his is bad? I actually like.
What's Fandango's tag team partner? Tyler Breeze.
Tyler Breeze. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad music. I don't like Gallows and Anderson that much. Oh, you know one I do like though? I like Sheamus's music.
Sheamus's new theme. I don't like
new theme.
I don't like Cesaro's theme.
Yeah, I like it when it's combined with Sheamus's, like when they come out together as a tag team. But they have a dope entrance. That would probably fall into the whole entrance theme, the whole presentation part.
Roman Reigns, man. Like, come on, we got to get him some new entrance.
Well, when the Shield first came out, I think because we feel like that should probably belong to the Shield. And maybe Roman Reigns should have got his own,
like everybody, like the other two did.
Right. Like I'm not a huge fan of Seth Rollins' theme music.
I like Seth Rollins' theme music.
And Dean Ambrose's sounds like something that's been recycled before. I can't put my finger on whose it is. I don't dislike them, but they're not like one of my favorites. I like Roman Reigns' theme music, but I liked it much better when it was the Shield. And not.
So my boy Justin just texted me and said Jake the Snake's theme song.
As far as what he didn't like or he did like.
Jake the Snake has some dope theme music.
But it kind of fit his gimmick. Yeah, it was dope. It was cool. Yep, I agree with that. I like Jake the Snake. So I'm just trying to think of some other ones that just were not good. Yeah, that's all. I'm not a big fan of Big Show's. I think Big Show, but when it first came out, I was like, "Oh my god, this sucks." But now it's kind of just grown on me.
I was watching a very old episode of FCW, and Biggie Langston's first theme music was terrible, dog. And then he came out with the 3 ain't enough. I need 5, which was a dope theme song. But yeah, Big E's first theme song was terrible. And like I said, I don't like anything about Dean Ambrose, so I automatically get nauseated whenever I hear his entrance music.
Yeah, Johnny says Hillbilly Jim. Hillbilly, the country boy theme song. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
That was a bad one. So we could go on for days, man. I mean, we got things. What was Bastion Booger's theme music? Does anybody know? What was his theme music? But yeah, you know, Jimmy Snooker had dope music. The little super fly. That was dope. You know.
So did Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah. Yep. He did. It depended on. They changed his music up a little bit from time to time. So. Yeah. But yeah, man. So that's it. We were just kind of chiming in, doing a little extra, talking about some of the bad theme music since we talked about some of the music that we like. But we want to thank you guys so much for listening tonight. It's been a great show. Thanks for the chat room participation, guys. It's always appreciated. Be sure to tune in next week. YouTube Live, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be here. Be sure, if you missed out on earlier points of the episode, be sure to check out the podcast. Check us out at hittheropesradio.com and hit us up on social media. For Courtney, this is Stokester signing off for another great night. Peace out, guys. Thanks for listening.
Blah, blah, blah.